Hi and welcome to the Cult TV Sofa. This is a reaction video of the 6th episode of the one and only season of Automan, called Flashes and Ashes. Last time we saw an aerospace businessman being killed after his company sold cheap parts that caused a helicopter accident. His partner wanted to stop him from confessing to the police. Automan went undercover, posing as a businessman interested in buying the failing business. They managed to chase the killer and stop him by generating a wall in front of him while they were driving. So let's see what happens in this episode. I'm going to put any relevant trivia that I find over here, and at the end of the reaction I'll be discussing what happened and my thoughts about the episode. And I'm going to start it in 3, 2, 1. So they stealing police weapons?
Hold it, Diamond!
Oh, they are police.
I hope you two brother officers can explain why you're loading police weapons into that truck!
Cooney, wait. I can explain.
We're thieves. So we've got at least 3 corrupt policemen and 1 good policeman who's now dead.
Ah, the guy's dead.
What are we gonna do now?
We're gonna cover our tracks.
Oh dear. That looked like it's out of Thunderbirds.
You only saw the face on one, and that was Frank Cooney, is that right?
It's like I told you, Lieutenant. Me and Co went over to question
Framing
Cooney.
him.
2 guys came up from behind us, hit us with chloroform.
That's really bad. He was obviously an honest cop and they've framed him and ruined his reputation, pension benefits if he's married, I assume.
Internal Affairs?
Yes, sir, we've had the pleasure.
He looks like he's in on it. I put money on that internal affairs guy being part of this.
The fact is, it's an internal affairs matter.
I did wonder why he was interviewing them. I thought it'd be internal affairs.
All right, now look, just for the sake of argument, suppose those 2 men are lying.
All the more reason to handle it through IAD. Is he always so pleasant?
Well, internal affairs aren't the most popular department.
Frank Cooney and I were classmates at the police academy. He was a good buddy of mine, but he was a good cop. I can't believe that he'd be involved in that heist.
A little late for a character witness.
Definitely involved.
Cooney came by the computer room and asked me for some help.
Nice little area.
And at first he asked me to run
Desk.
up some data for him, off the record. Inventories, duty rosters.
That could go against him.
Came by and asked for the stock inventory and duty roster for the armory.
That could go against him.
That's a problem.
Yeah, that proves his guilt.
That's a guy you don't want to cross. He's liable to be our next DA. I know I'd be very careful about going by the book. If you don't tell Whitaker, he can nail you for withholding evidence, and he'd do it, too. To answer your question, no, I'd never run out on a friend. Don't forget, you are my friend.
Basically, if I do anything illegal, don't grasp me up.
Then what was he doing at the armory last night?
Following up on a personal investigation of some kind.
It's a bit dangerous for him to go on his own and not tell anyone what he thinks is going on. Oh, citywide power cut, plunges to his death. Not that fond of a Corvette. I do like the lights though, the way they flip down. That's quite cool. I think people would notice that a helicopter landed in the car park and him stepping out. There'd be a crowd.
Won't be going anywhere if we don't locate a power source soon.
Oh, now they're bringing the power source thing back.
Ooh, what a hunk. Wow.
Do people really speak like that? So they're trailing the 2 officers, although there were 3 who were stealing the guns. Well, 3 people. I don't think one of them was wearing a uniform.
I hope I can find some kind of power source back there. I'm very weak. Ah, just what the doctor ordered.
Try not to draw attention to yourself. This is not drawing attention to yourself?
Like they would have that freely accessible to everyone. I mean, look at the fire risk. And that's all wood around them. The walls are wood and everything.
She's broke. What am I gonna do?
They bring the police.
Stay on some 5 minutes. I got no special effects.
You would assume that they did it. And they did.
Why do you need a special effects machine?
Everybody wants visuals.
All these people get together for the sole purpose of scaring themselves to death?
Sole purpose. Put-em-bum.
You get your money after we turn the arms over to our buyer.
You owe us 50 grand apiece.
That's quite a lot. Back then. It's got to be worth double nowadays. It's probably about 100,000. Is that enough to put your job at risk? And your freedom at risk? 100,000?
Lose something? Look what the cat drug in.
Does he know them? The officers?
There you are. Come on, the seance is about to begin. We're with Madame Russo, of course. I'm in charge of special effects.
They might have seen him around, though. They might recognise him. Especially if you just called him Walter. That might ring a bell.
Madame Russo!
So they're going to use Cursor to generate stuff. I'm not a believer of this stuff.
Spirits old and spirits new.
Especially her. She's flipping awful. Okay, so I could imagine if you saw that flying around, you would think it's a spirit. Surely most people would be running away screaming. Not clapping. Yeah.
Let him go. Their story really checks out.
He was still outside the door and he still could have overheard things. No matter his story checking out.
There they go!
He's facing the wrong way.
Otto, it's Lieutenant Whitaker.
Get in.
It's too late, he's seen me. Hit it!
Why is he heading in the opposite direction to the guys they want to follow?
Do you mind telling me exactly what you're doing here?
What are you doing there?
What about you?
I think where I go is pretty much my own business.
Same for him. Yeah, I think he's absolutely 100% completely innocent. Nothing to do with any of this. As soon as I saw him, I knew he was guilty.
Wally, I think you may be in trouble.
What for?
I don't know, but...
About time that issue get in here on the double.
So they're going to try and frame him as well. Oh, well, he had that information and didn't hand it over yet, didn't he? So yeah, it makes him accessory.
It's a stock report from the police armory. Did you or did you not provide Officer Cooney
Yeah,
with this
it's
information?
guilty as hell.
I did, sir,
You
but...
mean you ran classified police material without a proper clearance?
Under the circumstances, I'm going to have to ask for an indefinite suspension.
Yeah. He's got the evidence to do it, really.
I'm sorry, kid.
Last couple of episodes, the captain seems to have been softening a bit towards him. He's not been quite as aggressive as he was in the early episodes.
Cohen and Lyman were under investigation by Whitaker prior to the armory robbery.
Yes, but according to that, the case was closed.
But it doesn't say why.
Yeah, so they're under investigation anyway, and then he kind of leverages that to use it for his own purpose.
I'm making a stab at DA. As a matter of fact, we're kicking off the campaign this afternoon with a tennis tournament at the country club.
Yes, sir.
I still don't know what her job is. I mean, she went undercover a couple of episodes ago, and now she looks like his secretary. That surprised me. Oh, well, that's not good. You're seeing their faces now. You've got to kill him. They have to kill him.
I can take you. That sounds pretty heavy.
So the only way he'd be able to play tennis is if he's been programmed. Would Walter have programmed him to play tennis? Unlikely.
One game, $25,000, and you're not going to warm up?
I kind of think he could be good. If he's programmed to play tennis, in fact, I'm going to pause a sec. It's mostly to do with angles, speed, trajectory. As long as I don't know how he processes the world around him, but if he can see the angle someone hitting the ball, and if he can work out the speed, he would be able to know where the ball's going to land and react accordingly. So technically, yeah, he could be the greatest player. He doesn't really have a physical speed limit because he's not human. I would have thought, we haven't seen it happen yet, but I would have thought he could move with no human limits, so he can move incredibly fast. So yeah. Oh, he's going to cheat. So curses the ball, he's going to move.
Ball stopped dead.
So completely ignore everything I just said. He's cheating. It's so over the top, making it do funny things. Just slide out of his reach, slightly left or right, or go fast or slow or something.
As for chicanery, someone in your department seems to have erased any trace of your earlier investigation into those two officers.
If you did see a file, which I will admit did exist at one time.
He's saying all of this with an audience.
Probably by Frank Cooney.
And they let him live. Why would they have let him live when he saw them?
I've lost my job, my girl, my reputation.
You never had the girl.
What else is there to lose?
You still have me.
Oh, God. Get the noose out.
You don't suppose Whitaker's a gambler, do you?
No, I know he is. This afternoon he didn't hesitate to accept a wager for $25,000.
True.
On our final, Cooney actually went on a drug stakeout. He set up the deal and I shot it. The sound is even pretty good.
The picture's going to be awful. Yeah, like that would be the picture quality on an old videotape like that.
That's enough. I've got it programmed.
Programmed? What do you have in mind?
An illusion.
So he's going to, just like he creates a suit, he's going to make himself look like this officer, Clooney.
Lieutenant, they just drove up. How are you set for backups?
I got a couple of units standing by.
They're all playing dangerous games here because he's on suspension. Don't know if this would be legally allowed if he's suspended. Would the evidence be admissible? Admissible. Oh, of course, they've learnt, they haven't put a lock on it or anything. Just being seen together would immediately get him kicked off the case. Oh, they're going to pretend that the ghost of the officer in a seance sort of thing.
Good evening, Malcolm. Out for a little entertainment, I see.
It's all over straight away, just being seen together. He's internal affairs investigating them.
Cursor, you're on.
To be fair, it's quite a good idea at the seance and then making the ghost of the officer appear.
I am Frank Matthew Cooney.
Listen to me. It's a trick.
Murderers!
It was Whitaker's idea!
You can't kill me,
No, but you can. The psychic standing next to him, who's in the line of shots, the angle they were at. She's probably sat there now, just bullet holes dead. They only shot him in the leg. You've now got someone there to give evidence against you.
Cooney got in the way. Now, I don't think you meant that to happen. So I'll give you a choice. You either turn state's evidence or take your chances that your buddies will protect you.
I'm with you guys.
Then get in.
Why get in? Why take him with you?
Thanks, Otto.
Why is he flying anywhere? You would surely just revert back to nothing.
Two-fingered lineman for Frank Cooney's murder. Lineman turned right around and nailed Whitaker, who took Dumont down with him, and we recovered all the guns.
So much for honor among thieves.
There isn't any when they're all possibly being sentenced to life in prison.
Welcome back, Officer Nebiger.
He does seem to have softened on him.
Young man, I want to apologize to you for the ordeal you have suffered at the hands of this department. And I hereby reinstate you with a full exoneration, along with an official commendation for distinguished service.
Right.
And my thanks.
Poof. Okay. I actually enjoyed that episode. I think that's probably the best one so far. Purely because I found the previous stories just a bit convoluted. I think I used the word complicated before, and that's not the right word. They're not complicated. Convoluted is fiddly, and just, you have to really follow the whole story. This was just a bit more run-of-the-mill. Someone being framed, somebody more senior in charge. It just made a lot more. It actually made sense, this episode. I find it hard to believe that someone running for DA could do the stuff he was doing and not get caught, because they're under a lot more scrutiny. But yeah, I actually quite liked it, apart from the flaws that I mentioned throughout the episode. And I like the captain more in this one. I think in the last one as well, he wasn't too bad. I think in the early episodes, he was just so over the top against Walter. It was ridiculous. He seems to have softened towards him now. Possibly even like him as a person. He might not still respect his role, but I think he likes Walter. So that's better. I prefer their relationship. I was trying to think, because Walter was in the academy with that officer who died, and he's saying that he knew him, he knows that he wouldn't do the robberies. Basically, he wasn't that kind of person. And I was trying to think about the people I know and whether I could be that confident about everyone. Because I have friends watching this video now getting very nervous. But trying to think whether I could be that confident. And I think I could. I'm not going to mention names, but I can think of one person I know who I could possibly believe could do stuff like that. But apart from that one person, I don't think anyone I know could. I could believe that they could do a serious crime. I know things happen sometimes, and sometimes out of people's control, sometimes in their control. They can spiral quickly, so it can happen. But I don't believe, without a lot of evidence, that I could think of anyone who could do anything as serious as that. It's weird though, because crimes do happen. People are murderers. People kill people. People steal things. Do their friends think that they could do that kind of thing? To the best of my knowledge, I don't think I know anyone who's committed a crime. Well, it's certainly a serious crime anyway. No, not that I can think of. And so I can't imagine anyone doing things like that. So it's weird. Yeah. Obviously, don't want to know the details, but have any of your friends ever committed a serious, or been convicted of a serious crime, and you couldn't believe they did, or still don't believe they did it? Just be interested to know people's thoughts about that in the comments. Like I said, don't want to know details. Don't say anything you shouldn't say or feel uncomfortable saying, but just be interested, because I can't imagine it. It just doesn't fit in my logic that people could do that kind of thing. So yeah, I say, apart from the flaws, I actually did enjoy this one. This is definitely the best one so far, so that's good. So almost halfway through, pretty much halfway through the season now, so hopefully there's going to be a few more good ones coming up, because I've been disappointed so far, I have to admit. So let's see what happens in the next episode. Vi ser det.